I'm Joshua Stubbs, and I'm here with Eddie from Uganda, and I'm going to be interviewing him and asking him a few questions about the South Africa incident and Nelson Mandela and racial discrimination. So, Eddie, my first question is, how much do you know about the South African incident, and were you affected by it in Uganda?
Basically, the South African incident, whereby it's called the Apartheid policy or the racial discrimination. That's what we're going to be talking about. It's something that happened, and the people from the West and the other countries in the Europe came and settled in a country where they found other people already there. These were the people, the native South Africans, and so they decided to take over their land, and they imposed on the laws, and they tried grabbing everything that they had, and finally they started even chasing them from the places they were. So they started now discriminating them in their own land. They started trying to treat them badly in their own land and on their own land, and taking everything from their own land, and they started even getting minerals and all the riches of that land from the original owners, and they were taking it on themselves. So the South African natives decided to resist it, the invasion or the existence of these people that came there. So they came now the different. I mean, that's how the racial thing came in. So they started discriminating and treating, because for them they had already the money and they were more exposed, so they decided to kind of discriminate and mistreat the people there. They started killing the people that were trying to oppose them, trying to to jail some of those people that were fighting for their rights in their own land, and it basically was a very, very nasty situation, and a very bad time for the native South Africans in the situation that they were going through during that time. They were discriminated according to their color and according to their tribes and stuff, and then they were treated as second-hand citizens in their own country. Yeah, so it really affected not only the South Africans, but it affected the whole of Africa in a way that that these people, some of them had to flee their country in searching for peaceful life, I mean better life outside South Africa. Some came to Uganda, some went to Mozambique, some went to Tanzania, and they had to train and get to form to train to be like more equipped with the guns and do the stuff, because getting freedom in South Africa was not a mere say of dialogue speaking. It was fighting, and blood was poured down, people were killed fighting for their rights until the independence came up in 1990, I think. But a lot of people died for what is happening right now in South Africa. Many people were jailed, and many guys joined the war. I mean, joined the rebel groups that were coming to fight for their rights. And all these groups were being trained in our countries. So our countries were affected. I mean, in a way that we had to have all these refugees come from all these countries. From South Africa, come to our country, and of course we are really affected seeing like our fellow native South Africans suffering. Basically, yeah. Anyway, yeah.
My next question is, what are your views on Nelson Mandela being jailed, and how do you feel when it happened?
When Nelson Mandela was jailed, Nelson Mandela, basically, he was a freedom fighter. He was fighting for freedom. He was fighting for equal rights. He was fighting for liberty. He was fighting for peace, because there was no peace in South Africa. So he was seen as someone who was trying to liberate and bring the people, bring the two different people together. So, but the so-called Dutch people and other people from the West and from Britain and other countries never loved that, because they never wanted any native African to fight for their rights. So Nelson Mandela being the ringleader, being seen as the potential activist, he was jailed for 27 years. And so basically it affected us, the whole of the continent, because we would see a guy that was positive, the guy that was trying to fight for his people, is in jail, and there's no hope now. But though he was in jail, the rest of the people didn't give up. The rest of the people were fighting for fighting for the same cause, didn't give up. There are people who rose up to sing songs of freedom, and then like the likes of Lucky Dube, some other like Yvonne Chaka Chaka, and all those people rose up and sang songs of liberation. I mean, sang songs trying to say we can get together, we are all created, we have one blood. There's a popular song by Lucky Dube saying different colors, but we are one people. So that is one of those songs that were sung, and then so the fight went on even though he was in prison. So it affected us in a way that a lot of attention was put into South Africa, and because most of us, our countries were colonized by Britain, which was fighting which was part of the countries who were fighting the native South Africans. It affected our countries because somehow Britain could not be very happy with us supporting the native South Africans down there. So somewhere it affected us. This war went very long, until 1990. That's when Nelson Mandela was released from the jail. So he was in jail for 27 years. I mean, that's very long, yeah. That's really long time. So when he was brought out of jail, people were celebrating, and then he became the first president. So it positively affected us. I mean, we got happy because he got out and he became the first president, and he forgave all these people that were mistreating the blacks, and I mean the people, the native South Africans. So he started up reconciliation strategies, and then he did it well, whereby he brought all the colors together, the different people together, and he didn't run into revenge. And because of Nelson Mandela today, that's why you see the South Africa. If it wasn't because of Nelson Mandela's leadership and wisdom, and I say he's a gift from God, because it wouldn't have happened. He came and forgave. That's why South Africa is still existing. If he came and decided to revenge, South Africa would be nowhere. So anyway, Nelson Mandela was one of the great people that God gave the continent of Africa, and we see him as a tool of freedom and liberty and peace, and talk about it, all that. He was a great guy. He's still a great guy. Yeah.
Well, that's all my questions. I want to thank you for answering my questions.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Oh yeah, I love you.